JD, would you make it today? Obviously, it was close and got away from you guys.
It was close. I thought offensively it was very similar to Thursday night, especially with our left-handed hitters. Just our aggressiveness got the best of us, and got to, decent hitters counts and just trying to do a little too much with fastballs. Like I had some run and sink to it. And we just kept pulling off the ball and not committing to the game plan and driving the ball the other way, which was our plan going in, and we just didn't stick to it.
Just staying with the hitters in particular, those bottom guys at the end of the order. Jake got an opportunity recently, but you're trying to get guys off the bench. I mean, how much do you kind of need something out of that bottom half?
Well, I mean, you need something out of all 9 guys in the lineup, regardless of who it is. With those guys, we are getting something out of them because defensively they've been very very good for us defensively, offensively. Obviously, they got to get on base. We're not asking them to hit 400 or drive in 80 runs or drive the ball to the ballpark. It's just get on base for those guys behind them. So, I think they had some opportunities today. We just didn't take advantage of it.
The bullpen had been in a good stretch for a while, and the guys you relied on today. What would you see the whole group just kind of?
Something that's uncharacteristic of our staff. We walked 7 guys and we hit 3. You get 10 free passes. That's not going to work. Especially day games here at the light, man. The ball flies out of the ballpark, so you can't give free passes and give up. I think 3 home runs we gave up today, I believe. That's a recipe for disaster, which what today was.
Tate, just kind of what you see from him. Couple shaky early, and then kind of get some zeros.
Yeah, he didn't look comfortable from the get-go. For whatever reason, right off the bat, the leadoff guy on a 1-2 count, and hits him with a changeup, and then just put some picks on. He didn't, missed some picks and walked some guys, fell behind guys, and just didn't really look comfortable until about that 3rd, 4th, 5th inning. We tried to squeeze, really one more hitter out of him, and the catcher got him there, and the rest didn't get any better after that.
What was your message to the team after the game?
Disappointing game, disappointing loss, but it's it's another loss. It doesn't mean anything more than the first one of the season or Thursday night or any loss we've had all year. So it's another loss, and now regular season's over. We move on to the postseason, and it fits right into what our motto's been all year: is 0-0 and win today. Postseason about winning one game at a time and not holding anything back. Whatever it takes to win that game, we win it, and we figure out the next one the next day.
I had a chance to really even talk to you about it, but just a single elimination format, what do you think of it? What do you think it's what challenges is it going to present your team and everybody?
The challenge for us, I think the hitters probably enjoy playing, having to play 5 games in a week. The bigger challenge is probably on the mound and how you use the bullpen, but everyone's going to be in the same situation as we are, or at least 8 teams are going to be in the same situation that we're in as far as the bullpen's concerned, and having to possibly win 5 games to win the whole thing. So we'll see. I don't know until it's over how I feel about this single elimination thing.
What do you think of just ACC tournament in general? I know for years we've talked so much about regional play and not being a focus. I felt like Gino kind of brought up that put more of an emphasis. Just where do you kind of stand on this? Essentially, the big picture is obviously something else.
I think that if you're the regular season champion, that should carry more weight than winning a tournament, and getting hot and winning a tournament. In the course of a 30-game, conference schedule, that should carry more weight than winning in a tournament. But it's a chance to get everybody in one place. I'm sure financially it's an advantage. But unless we're playing for our lives, which we got to win some games, we got to continue to win. The NCAA tournament is the more important one.
For you, does the bullpen inconsistency concern you heading into postseason play?
As a coach, everything concerns you, right? I felt anytime you don't play well, I didn't think after Thursday night, I didn't think we were going to score another run all season. And then after last night, I feel great about the hitting, and I feel great about everything after last night. And today, it's new worries, right? But every day, it's something you're going to worry about. You're never comfortable. It's similar to I never understood this as a pitching coach, but I remember Coach Morris telling me you never go home happy as a head coach because in practice, because in inter squads either the pitching looked good or the hitting didn't, but you go home worried about one or the other. I was just concerned with the pitching back then, and now I understand what he says. So even in wins, you win games. There's always something that you see and find that you could improve on and get better on. That's our job as coaches. Is complacency cannot creep into your program, and and always looking at ways of getting better. You know, get better, you get worse. You never stay the same. So you're always worried about something.
How do you lower the pressure of the top of the lineup? They've been relied upon so much to consistently bring in the offense, especially now you're going into the tournament. The amount of pressure on Cuvet to make sure that he's getting everything he needs to do, especially with Jake and Max. How do you allow that pressure to be spread out evenly through the team, if possible?
You know, pressure is something that it's what you put on yourself, right? I mean, I don't think if we had 9 great hitters, I don't think Cuvet's going to try any less or do anything like that. So I mean, as a hitter, any hitter, they want to go out there and get a hit every single time. If I had to guess, the bigger the situation, the more pressure is on you. They want that, you know. So similar to pitching, right? I said last night how tough it is to pitch in a game when you're up, 12-1. You're still trying to put up zeros. You know, you don't pitch any different as 1-0 or 12-0. So if we were hitting, 380 as a team, Cuvet and Ogden and some of those guys at the top are not going to try any less. You got guys in scoring position, they're going to do everything they can to drive those guys in. So, you would like to see, deeper lineup and put more pressure and more taxing on opposing pitchers, but I don't think they would perform any different if our lineup looked different.
Cuvet kind of asked him just these moments, postseason, guy like him, we talked about pressure. I mean, to have a guy like that, and he seems to handle it and excel in it.
It's the funnest part of the season. This is why we do what we do, right? I mean, the more that's on the line, the more fun there is. And you look at historically, and you put it in a baseball context, you look at Derek Jeter, which is probably known as one of the best clutch postseason players in history, and he's played, I want to say it's 161 postseason games, which is basically a regular season, the whole regular season. And his numbers across the board are almost identical, regular season to his postseason career numbers. So is he the best postseason player, or is he just consistently who he is in the postseason, and whether it's August or September or March, whatever it might be? He's just consistent. Now we go out and try to do more than we're able to do or been doing. That's when you get in trouble in the postseason. Just relax, have fun, enjoy the pressure. The pressure cannot be greater than the pleasure of being where we're at and where we're at in the season. It's the most fun there is.
As a player, though, all that easier said than done. How challenging is that for a player to get the most out of themselves in these moments?
Well, look, whether it's a postseason or it's opening day, that's the toughest part of this game. It's a tough game, and when you try to do more than you have to, when you try to don't let the game come to you and just react to the game, that's when you get in trouble. So whether it's postseason or not, it's always the same problem. Freshmen coming into college, if they come out and play the way they play and play that they are, they'll be fine. If they try to do more, throw harder as a pitcher, better breaking ball, be perfect with his pitches, he's not going to throw strikes. He's not going to be consistent. He's not going to be very effective as a freshman. So just got to be who you are and be the best version of you is all we're asking for, and those are the best teams.
How do you continue to get the consistency out of this team? Up and down throughout the season, you've had moments of great moments and then inconsistency here and there. How do you just try and relish it?
If I had that answer, man, we'd be the exact same team every day, right? I mean, I don't know. It's I felt really good about pregame today, BP and everything in the first couple innings of the game, and then just something happened. Again, if I had the answer, I would never let it happen. We'd never fail in life, right? It's just one of those things that just crept up on us, and it's tough. The pitcher, everyone feels what Tate was going through. I mean, when he's not comfortable, nobody's really comfortable. There was no rhythm to the game. And then the bullpen came in, and it was a rough day for the bullpen. And those are usual signs that lead to what we saw offensively.
JD, you've spoken kind of all season about your confidence in this team, regardless of results, whatever it looked like either way. At this moment in time, again, I think yesterday you kind of said same thing, just confident in this team. What gives you we've talked about their connectivity a lot, and maybe that's where it comes from, but just in general with what this team is, what it could potentially do in your mind, where's this all,
Well, I mean, I can't preach something without living it, right? And I'm big on being neutral. As a player, as a pitcher, that's the way I was. I never showed any emotion, and I'm gonna be the same person last night as I was, today that was last night. I'm not happy about the loss, and obviously I'd rather win by 14 runs or whatever we won by last night, but it's a win. A win's a win, a loss, and on to the next one. Learn from the losses and the wins, and move on to the next one and get prepared for the next one. So I genuinely live my life that way, and that's why it's easy for me to preach that and never go in a different direction with my guys.
What do you think?
One more question. Two more questions.
Just a couple. Just what do you think the routine's going to be like? 9 a.m. start. It's obviously different.
I have no idea. I haven't played 9 a.m. games since I was 9 years old, I think. But look, it's going to be tough. It's going to be different. But we're playing a Cal team that is in California right now. They're flying cross country. I know they're flying tonight or Monday, and to them it's going to be a 6 a.m. game. So we can't complain too much. It's both teams are playing at 9 a.m. and it's show and play no matter what time it is or what the weather is or where we're playing. And baseball's baseball, and you got to win 9 innings.
And just lastly, for
Last
me,
question.
I haven't seen Coyero for a while. Is everything okay with him? We just go with other guys.
He's fine. He was in there. Had that last inning got extended a little bit more, but we got a lot of right-handers ahead of him. Right now at this point in the season, they're not going to get many opportunities, and we were winning some games there. Is that you're going to go, follow the script, and he's not part of the script right now.
And Derek and Todd, those are the ones we talked about. Anyone else dealing with?
So they're going to see a doctor on Monday. We're hoping to get cleared. Whether they play right away, I doubt it. But they've both been. Derek's 1 day ahead of Todd. He's swung the bat 3 days in a row. He looked really good on Thursday. Yesterday, today was a little bit sore, but swung the bat okay. Expected to be sore, so Todd will hit for the 3rd day in a row tomorrow. Derek brings a little bit more to the table. He can steal some bases, so we do got to make a decision on who we take. And having to play 5 games now, we got to take an extra arm if possible.
What is the number, if you could say?
30. The roster for the ACC tournament is 30, and it drops down to 27 for the NCAA tournament.
And then pitcher numbers-wise, what are you thinking off the top, roughly?
Probably 14, 15 pitchers. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're already. Everybody's going to throw 2 days in advance, right? I mean, Hugo's going to have to go on a 5-day rest, as is Siskar. Hugo's threw 102 pitches, but he bounces back really well. Siskar, that's why we didn't let him finish the game yesterday, knowing that for sure he's going to come back 1 day early, possibly 2. So we pulled him after 76 pitches, I think, last night. I'm not sure how many he threw 5 innings, 5+, but his pitch count was up in the 80s, I want to say. So and it was a high stress 80-some pitches. So. But they're all going to have to come back early.
And safe to assume that's the order you'll go with?
Yes.
Gina, what's your level of disappointment after this one today?
Yeah, I mean, it's not about being disappointed now. I mean, it's already over, and I think this team has been through a lot this year, and this group, from everyone being new to the team to everyone becoming family, it's been a journey. So I think we're just gonna put this one past us, and we're gonna get ready for the postseason.
What was the messaging like? Maybe stuff of what you said, but what was the messaging like after the game was over, either from coaches or players or whoever spoke?
Yeah, I mean, that was the message. Obviously, you never want to lose a game, and we did, obviously, but we got to look forward just like we have all year. Win or loss, we've been looking forward to the next game and focusing on that one, and that's what we're looking to do, and just get ready to go, do our thing in Durham.
In general, just where do you think this team is? You had a good stretch, and then obviously didn't in the way you would have liked, but in general, just going into this tournament now, where do you think this team is?
Yeah, I mean, this team can be anyone, as we've shown, and I think that's the team that's going to come out in Durham, and we're going to be ready to go. I mean, especially with this loss, we're going to be fired up to go play and win those games, especially those early ones.
What do you think is the key for hitters in particular? But there's a lot of guys on your team that haven't played in this environment. I know it's new with single elimination, but what's kind of the keys to get the most out of everybody in a situation like this, postseason play?
I don't know. I think when you get to the postseason, you already feel that environment. You already feel the what's on the line, and I think that we have the kind of guys who are going to step up in those moments, and just like we have all year in those big games, we stepped up in a lot of big moments as a team, and from offensively and defensively, and that's going to be the kind of environment we're in. I think we're gonna do good.
You personally, do you enjoy this time of year now?
Yeah, I mean, it's the best. It's the most pressure with the biggest spots of the game, and it's my favorite thing, so I'm looking forward to it.
Do you feel you've been dealing with pressure? You've talked about it obviously last year, the whole thing. How do you kind of handle all of this? Kind of what's expected of what the team needs you, personal expectations?
I mean, it's fun. I hold myself to a high standard, and I think everyone around me kind of expects a certain level of me, and I try to bring that every day and help my team win.
Jake, for you, this is going to be your first chance at the ACC tournament. Is there like any different expectations with this postseason play compared to what you did in the past?
I don't think so. I mean, at the end of the day, in the postseason, it comes down to winning games, and no matter where you're at, you're just trying to win.
And dealing with the postseason, coming off this stretch now jumping from possibly having a double bye, now you're going to be the first game, 9 a.m. in the morning. Is there any different preparation that you have to have now and then preparing for the long stretch to possibly winning it all out?
More baseball for us. I mean, could be a good thing, you know. We get to play a game before anybody else, so.
Same for you, Cuvet. Is there any different type of preparation, or is it just another chance to play more
Another
baseball?
chance. It's a good chance for us to send a message that we're coming to play, and hopefully we can come out in that first game, come out ready to go, come out swinging, and we'll take the lead early and take that game and send a message to everyone else that we're ready to play.